Come, let me get you some.
Yo, welcome to Saber Talk Sunday. Mundo in the house, Lord Bear's in the house, and we got a new sound font maker in the house. Welcome.
Thank you very much. How y'all doing?
It's
Very
and
good.
We are doing great, man. I'm doing great. I had a good week and the weekend. How about you? Did you have a great weekend? Noah, right?
Yeah, Noah.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's actually freezing here in Texas, so we've got like the first snow that we've gotten like in years.
Really?
Um, so it's like the whole state is shut down basically because nobody knows how to drive in the ice or snow apparently.
Same
What
here.
part
So
of Texas you in?
Same here in Tennessee.
gotcha.
I'm
So
in
yeah,
Texas
man.
as well.
Oh, are you
I'm
really?
down here. I'm down south in Corpus.
Oh, wow. Okay. Did you guys get any snow?
Nah, no,
No.
but it's getting cold over here.
Yeah. It was about 23 degrees today. My dad
That's
was
where
telling
we're
me
headed.
he lives in Frisco, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was like 10 degrees down there, or up there, I should say.
Yeah. Well, I've got a buddy of ours, Rich Sangillo. He's in that area, and I tell you, man, he's a great person to get a hold of if you need chassis and stuff like that, 3D printed stuff.
Oh
He
yeah,
just does awesome for chassis work, man. He's
man,
made quite a few of mine.
that's funny. It's that's like my next thing that I'm thinking about getting into, but
Yeah.
yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I
How
don't
how
have.
did you how did you get into sound font making?
I've like been a musician ever since I can remember.
Hmm.
I played the piano, the trombone, and the violin. I started when I was 4 on the piano,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually have produced and still produce, not to the level that I used to, but like back in the 2010s, I used to tour the country as a performing DJ.
Cool.
I've got yeah, I've got a two profiles on all the music streaming services
Mm-hmm.
that you can think of: Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all that. So Noah Neiman
Wow.
and Dr. Neiman, and on the Noah Neiman one, I've got probably about 16, 17 million listens over the course of my career.
Mm-hmm.
um, so it was, I've been mildly successful, sort of like, I don't know, B-list celebrity, I guess, in that space. So, anyways, I'm 44 now, and yeah, I just don't have as much time as I used to. Um, so I guess sound fonts making just kind of takes up that sort of creative space that was sort
Mm-hmm.
of usurped by work and everything else. Um, but yeah, I mean, I started really getting into it a couple years ago. During COVID, I discovered lightsabers as a hobby. Um, and I just thought it was cool. I first found out about them through Vader's Vault,
Uh-huh.
and
Yep.
I bought a couple of their ones, and then I found Saber Trio, and they were fantastic. And we've got like a secret collab that maybe we'll be doing something together. So that's
Cool.
kind of cool. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, it like, I don't know, sound design and that kind of stuff has just sort of always been in my blood ever since I was a musician. So this is just
Mm-hmm.
sort of like it takes up less time to make a sound font than it does to make a fully fledged song, let alone an album.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my very roundabout story.
It seems like to me that there's a common denominator with a lot of sound font makers, and either they become sound engineers, they're musicians by trade, and so forth like that. You know, within the music business, so to speak. And so again, each time I hear sound fonts, but each time I run into a person who does sound fonts, that always seems to be the common denominator is either sound engineers or musicians. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, it's really, it really comes down to sound design and sample manipulation, and there's a lot of, you know, software that's you know, used that you. I mean, I'm any musician would use the same software.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like a natural progression, either from by either direction. You're, you know, doing sound fonts and then becoming a musician, or being a musician and then going into sound function, or a sound engineer or something like that. Just somebody involved in the music industry, or the you know, Foley and sound industry.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think it's really fantastic. It's just a lot of fun. You know, making something that didn't exist before. Um, a lot of what I heard when I first got into this, I keep calling it a hobby. It's I think it's much more than that. But um, you know, it went before I got into this whole thing. You know, there was like everybody was trying to sound exactly like Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, or Darth Vader's lightsaber, or you know, I don't know, whoever, you know, is in the movie's lightsaber. And that's cool. You know, I have no, like, that's awesome. But I mean, there's like, I don't know how many, like 40 different Luke Skywalker from, you know, Return of the Jedi's or something like that.
That's really cool.
And I'm just like, you know, I mean, kudos to those guys. Like, that's awesome that they can get it to sound so movie accurate. But like guys like Grayscale and Jay DeLorean, those guys really kind of, like, in my opinion, kind of step it up a notch and like make some really unique sounds that still fit like the theme of a lightsaber,
Yes,
but
I agree.
but 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 it's unlike anything you've ever heard in a movie or a show, or, you know, anything that you ever heard in your
Right.
life. And so I kind of was like, okay, you know, where can I fit in to all this? And so I, you know, what I really wanted to do is make stuff that sounded punchy and,
Hmm.
you know, loud and aggressive, or, you know, like, have one that's very soothing and kind of, you know, almost like ambient music. It's called Dusk Warden. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one. um,
Yeah, I was
but
listening to him today, and
yeah,
man, very exciting to
thank
hear.
you, thank you.
And thank you for your contribution above all else,
Oh
because
yeah, no,
there's so much competition, and it's hard to put your little mark on you know the hobby itself right now. As far as, I mean, it, like you said, it's not really a hobby, but at the same time, within the hobby itself of the lightsaber sounds. And for a person like me, you know, who purchased, you know, sound bots, to hear something different out of the ordinary is what we look for and strive for, because you still want it within universe, right? You still want it within universe, but however, you tend to hear some of the same old stuff sometimes, no matter
yeah,
how many font makers you go through, and it's like, well, I want it, but it's sounding like this one and this one and this one and this one. I need a little bit of variety, even though you hear that little eek, and then you hear that little oh.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's just that much. That's that little much of difference. It's like, yeah, I can do without the little eek and oh. I want eek. Oh, I want that
Right,
much of a difference, you know.
right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're aware of Mountain Sabers, James. He comes on the show, you know, quite a bit too, and he's done some fantastic sound fonts, and Jay DeLorean, like you said, and the others, man. I tell you, um,
Yeah, Jay
those
is, he
guys just
is
whoo. on
he
another
is
level.
prolific. Like I don't know how many fonts he's got out there. He's like got like over 100 for sale or something like that. Maybe more than that.
His most
Yeah.
recent one is based off of that meme, "Can I get a Hoya?" or something like that. Literally, the font is, "Can I get a Hoya?" Like, seriously.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, there's that. You're right. There's a lot of competition out there, but sometimes it does begin to sound a little monotonous. Like, I remember seeing, and I'm not going to remember who it was, but and there's nothing wrong with this. I want to say that, but the guy was like, I finally got like all the Luke Skywalker lightsaber sounds on my, Luke Skywalker lightsaber, like all the movies and all the shows that he's used a lightsaber in, I've got those fonts. And he's just like, he was like proud of that. And I was like, that's cool, but like, if you didn't hear what sound font you were picking, would you really be able to tell the difference between all those? And
Yeah.
maybe he could. I don't know. But to me, I don't. I mean, and I've got a really good ear for sound, but I don't know that I would be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, I don't either. Go ahead, Ferris.
What I would do is I would make like an AI voice line of like every single individual company. And if I was just to do it, like, for example, a Luke ROTJ Saber build with font config, that would just be what I would do, is just in the font folder, just put Kyberphonic, KSIF, Quansif, Syndicate Custom Relics, and so on and so on and so forth. But the thing about that is, what I've also done in my case is, for example, for my Graflex, what I've done is for every time the lightsaber comes on, like, for example, in The Force Awakens, we see it come on 2 times, one on Takodana and one on Starkiller Base, Ilum. And what I do was, for the Takodana scene, I put K-Sith version of The Force Awakens, and then for Starkiller Base, I put Kyberphonic version.
And can you really tell the difference though?
Well, yes, actually, I can, because I set the font noise to different ones.
Sure.
And also, it's a matter of memorization.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I think it's awesome that people can get it so accurate. I don't know if they're just like sampling the movie, or if they're actually creating the sounds. And I don't want to get too far into that, but
I can.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
I work with Juan's. I've collaborated with Juan Stith, and from what he tells me, he does extract the audio from the movie or TV show, but he also individually has to create or replicate, mostly create his own sound. Like, for example, the Graflex fonts he did was the Dagobah training scene, where Luke ignites the lightsaber inside the Dagobah cave. A lot of that sound was freshly created, based off of what was the little volume that was shown in that scene.
That's cool. Yeah, I have to say, like most of my the hums that I create, I mean, that's, to me, that's the funnest part of it, is the power ons and the hums, because that's like most of the character of a lightsaber. And the hums for me is like, it's really, really interesting. Like my Red Knight sound font, I really wanted to make it sound like aggressive and sort of like, like there's so much energy in the lightsaber that it's gonna like break. And so it's got this like continuously like up pitching sound that just keeps on going and going and going, and it uses this audio trick called the shepherd tone. And it kind of tricks your ear and your brain really into thinking that it's just a never-ending upwards pitching tone. And the first time I ever heard of it, heard of the Shepherd tone was, I don't know if you guys are familiar. You probably are, but in I think it was Mario 64, the never-ending staircase.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
if you just keep on going there, it's like da na 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 na, and it
Yeah.
continues and continues and continues, and it feels like it's just going forever. But if
Uh-huh.
it did, you'd at some point you'd stop being able to hear it because it's such a high frequency. Like
Mm-hmm.
your ear just wouldn't be able to hear that anymore. But it just continues, and so there's this like way of making that sort of happen within a digital audio workstation or what have you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I threw that in there, and I think it really gives it a unique characteristic.
Yeah. I pitched a sound font to BK Sabers, because and I told him, it was his if he wanted to produce it, but I just had an idea, and of course, him being one of my friends and stuff, but I was like, oh, go ahead and do certain things and call it whatever you want to call it. So I gave him the idea. I texted him, and of course, he's been very busy. He hadn't been able to do any sound fonts lately, but it'll be interesting to see if he actually ever produces what I asked him to come out with, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually
But
had a
I got
couple
all
of
kinds of ideas too, man. But I just don't know how to do any of all that. So
I've had a
yeah,
couple ideas pitched to me. I ride a motorcycle, and there was a guy that reached out to me on. I've been talking to him on Instagram, and he's like, "Where's the motorcycle inspired sound font?" And I was like, "Ah, it's coming."
and then it's saberwavefx.com.
Yeah, saberwavefx.com. I've got, I don't know how many up there right now. I think like 6 or 7. It's not a whole lot.
Yeah,
But I kind of wanted to like test the waters out before I kind of like just, blew everything up and kind of just threw everything
hmm
on there. So
Honestly,
I'm going to kind of
I
like,
like the wizard one.
oh,
yeah,
thanks. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that's probably my like most like closest to canon sound. The ignitions are obviously very non-canon, but
right.
the I think the hum is pretty close to what you might hear from a lightsaber, and it was inspired by uh, Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian show where he shows up,
Yeah.
that was an awesome scene. Holy crap!
Oh,
oh,
it was.
I literally started like shouting when I finally saw the lightsaber coming to green. Like so much so, my sister came into the room like, "Why are you screaming?" It's like, "Luke,
Oh, I know. I did the same. I did the same thing. I went,
Yeah,
"Oh shit! Oh shit!" And all my kids and my wife, "Are you okay?" Like, yeah.
And Mark Hamill
yeah,
I,
no, it
on
was
Twitter,
intense.
like, and Mark Hamill
I
on Twitter. So, anything good on TV?
Well, I tell you, it's one of the very few scenes that Disney has actually had that invoked any kind of emotion,
Yeah,
right?
no, it totally
Okay,
did.
you know
It
what?
blew me
Okay,
away.
true, not true. Let's see the hallway scene from Rogue One. That gave me
Oh, that was
Well,
cool.
chill.
yeah, but I'm talking about after that. So,
Okay, well, a surprise character, yeah, of course, yeah.
yeah. I mean, Disney
And,
has not done anything like that remotely.
Hayden Christensen's return to Star Wars as in Ahsoka. That
Mm,
that was definitely an emotional. That was like a
yeah.
oh my god.
Well,
That
he's
the
coming to
scene where
San
they're in
Antonio.
the they're in like the Clone Wars where he's talking to her and she's like really feeling bad about the fact that like all of her soldiers are like injured and shit like that. Sorry, I don't know if we can cuss on this.
No, you're
Not.
good, you're good.
Um,
You're
but,
NC-17.
okay. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and like the way he talked to her, and he was kind of like, sort of her mentor, but like also you could tell like, there was some like darkness in him, and then like when he walks off, like kind of
Hmm.
like lightning strikes, or like maybe it's an explosion in the background, and it like flickers to Darth Vader's
Yeah.
silhouette. Oh, good stuff.
I like the fact that some of the font makers, what they'll do, just like you did with the wizard, is the introduction to the sound font itself, right? And you explain how you went about doing it, what the sound font was about, and so forth. You find the explanation of what the sound font is in words, but not many people really pay attention to the words a whole lot. I mean, for somebody like me who's real visual and stuff, but the audio is like really much better when you introduce yourself to the world and your font of what you're doing. As a matter of fact, when some of the font makers do that, I think it becomes a little bit more of a personal experience when you are facing that font maker of what they're trying to achieve within that font, right?
Hmm.
And
I was thinking about doing more of that actually, but I was like, there's this sort of limit to attention that
hmm.
most people will have, especially on the internet and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like, okay, let's just get to the point, you know,
Yeah.
because some people are like that, and I appreciate you, you know, appreciating what I did on
Hmm.
that one. But yeah, I mean, I think I might like. There's going to be like, I think I might do like two demo videos of each font, like going forward, where there's one that's
Hmm.
sort of like me explaining it, and then there's one with where I just shut up and like just show the whole thing. But yeah, no, I think it's important to kind of like, I mean, I don't know if it's important, but it's interesting at least,
Hmm.
to see where the font is sort of like coming from, and the inspiration, and the what you were trying to achieve with that sound. Because then once you're like swinging your saber around, you kind of like have an idea of like, okay, this is what that guy was thinking, and then it kind of like enters your mind. I don't know, whatever you're doing at the time, and it's just
Hmm.
kind of interesting. So.
Yeah, no, I've seen like Jada Lawrence sometimes. I think what he did for like the Excalibur font, right, is basically he showed, he was swinging around. You could hear all the clashes and the dings and the stuff of the metal, and then he put it visually where he showed the animation parts of the sabers with the blades and everything else on top of that. So you're like, oh shit, that's what it's capable of doing. It's like, damn, that is amazing to see that stuff, right?
Yeah, it's. I feel like it's really important to kind of push the envelope and push the limit of you know uh, what you think a lightsaber can sound like, because like for me, um, one of the most interesting lightsabers that has ever been done, like lightsaber. I don't know if I guess you could call it a sound font, um, but on the Skeleton Crew show,
Yeah.
um, Jod Nanawood's lightsaber, it doesn't sound like any other lightsaber that you've ever heard. Like
Right.
there's a little bit of Kylo Ren, I think, because it had
Hmm.
that like sort of like skittery kind of like jittery sound at the top end. But other than that, like the ignition sound is super unique. Like when he swings it, it sounds just. I mean, it doesn't have the classic sound. It has something similar. Like it sounds like a lightsaber, but it doesn't sound like what you've heard before.
Hmm.
And I think that like that's really cool. So yeah, I'm not the biggest Disney fan, I have to say,
Mhm.
but they do some pretty interesting things, like small things, like small details you can pick up. They're like, oh, okay, like
Yeah.
the person that thought about this, they let him get away with it, and the person who designed this set piece, or this sound, or this like one character that has 3 lines or something like that. Those guys are always like the really like the masters of what they do, and the fact that they're like getting their stuff on, you know, on TV or on this on the big screen, I think is fantastic.
Yeah, for sure, man. What did you find challenging when you first started doing the sound fonts? What was your most challenging part in getting started?
Um, Probably not trying to sound like everybody else,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and maybe not trying to steal somebody else's sound because they were so much better than me. uh,
I mean,
but
it is
you
a
know, so I'm sorry.
there are some sound font makers in the past that have been cutthroat. There was a guy called Lord Blako. He used to make the fonts that used to go with Electrum Sabercrafts, and his fonts are still on saberfont.com. And but then like a few years ago, and this is just from a story that I've heard, he basically just crashed out or something like that. Like
Hmm.
I mean, every fandom has its toxic personalities, and you know, it comes with that.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a really big time influencer that I used to watch a lot of his stuff on YouTube because he was just interesting. And then he, like, maybe last year or the year before, maybe even the year before that, it was recent.
Are we talking about
It
Leary?
um it just got really like negative. And he's getting views like crazy. I mean, but it just, you know, I was like I don't like, you know, I don't like what you're talking about. Like, yeah, I can agree to a certain point, but like it gets to a point where it's just kind of like, all right, okay, like I get it. And the whole video is about that or something like that, you know. So yeah, I mean, I can tell, you know, I can agree with you that there is some definite toxicity. um I mean, for me, like for example, the I don't know how you guys feel about this, but the Rings of Power show on Amazon, everybody
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, this is sucks. This is bullshit. It's not canon. You know, nobody wrote this. You know, Tolkien didn't write this. It's just fan fiction." And I'm like, "You're right. Yeah, that's all true. But we're getting more Lord of the Rings stuff. Isn't that
Yeah,
cool?"
I love Rings of Power.
Yeah.
I'm not a Lord of the Rings buff, but I love it. I mean,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it
like
was
Lord of the Rings as well.
and I'm
yeah, it
sure.
was it was great stuff. Like, I mean, sure, like I think that you know, there were a few things that were like, you know, okay, like this is like kind of reaching a little bit in terms of like, you know, what you would think would canon would be in terms of
Hmm.
like what he wrote. But it's like, yeah, okay. I mean, it's cool seeing this kind of stuff, like, you know, come to life, and you know, all those characters that, you know, they portrayed come to life. And I don't know. So for me, like with the Disney stuff, like, yeah, the storytelling is meh. um you know, but it's fun to watch, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
It is. It really is. And you know, when I think that when you have certain sound fonts, I think, you know, the sound font is on top of the soundboard that you have, but the sound fonts really, and I've always explained this through each and every one of my shows for sound fonts as well, is that the sound fonts really bring the soul to the saber itself,
oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
And when you have certain fonts that uh, bring about the certain ooh ah oh shit, that's badass within, you know, after you turn on that saber, then you know, okay. But you have certain fonts that are like, Yeah, I don't know if I want to keep this font on this saber because it doesn't fit it. It doesn't it doesn't fit the life within the saber, right? That part of that soul that piece of that soul. It doesn't work.
Sound
And
is so important in so many respects. Um, to your point, yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, you could put one sound font on there and it just sounds like, you're holding the most powerful lightsaber you ever had. And then that same lightsaber that's in your hand, you could switch it to another font and be like, this sounds like, this is like weak sauce right here. It said there's no bass, there's no like, punch to the ignition or anything. It just sounds like white noise.
I mean,
hmm
yeah, especially when it comes to fonts, that when you're holding the saber and the speaker that you have is like really powerful. Like, for example, some of the lightsabers I have, one of the first sabers I owned were master replica Force FX hilts. Those old ones that were from the 2000s. I have a Vader ESB, a Vader A New Hope, an Anakin 2005, a Yoda 2007, and a Luke 2007. You can equip them with like 28 millimeter speakers from like Smuggler's Outpost, and they sound like it's an actual prop, like you're actually holding the real genuine thing.
hmm
Yeah, so the speaker definitely has a lot to do with it too, and it's funny because I showed, like, I sent my font to one of my fonts to just a friend, and
hmm
he put it on his saber, and he's like, "There's so much distortion, like there's just, it sounds just like, there's so much like bass distortion." And I was like, "How big is your speaker?" Because like my sound fonts are very bassy and very intense, and so if you don't have a speaker that's like big enough to accommodate that sort of frequency response, yeah, it's probably not gonna like it's probably not gonna sound good. It's like listening to dubstep on like a tiny little whatever 2 millimeter speaker or something. It's just not going to sound good.
Well, I mean,
So
Case's fonts, I mean, his have garnered a reputation of where some speakers at the beginning would like be blown out.
yeah,
But besides the ones that you let me try out, the ones that I will, I'm going to buy yours, by the way. Because product loyalty and whatnot, and don't want to
appreciate that.
But I'm going to try it out on one of the ones hilts that I have that have like the really big speakers, because if what you're saying is true, I mean, I set my sabers usually somewhere between 2,000 to 2,300, and the last thing I want to do is like blow out my speaker for it. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely keep it at a relatively low volume. Like I honestly, I have not tried any of my fonts at full volume on any of my sabers, because like half volume, like I have a whole bunch of CFX from Saber Trio, and I have the bass speaker that they I think they're working with Smuggler's Outpost on them, and just half volume. Like my wife's in the next room and she's like, "Will you turn that down?" Jesus Christ. So I'm usually like, like quarter volume or that kind of thing, and it's still like real, like I can feel it vibrating in my hand, how loud it is. So
that's an awesome point.
yeah, definitely watch your volume if you're going to use one of mine. Like I said, it has not been tested at full volume, so I don't know what's going to happen.
I guess I'm gonna need to invest in a lot of speakers, man.
I hope not. I hope I don't screw people's lightsabers up.
Oh no, dude. I mean that's the thing. Is the sound is got to match the font itself as well, because coming you want to feel like you have that saber that's as real as it can get. I mean, we all know it's not, but
Sure, yeah, of course, yeah.
you want to feel that. You want to feel that vibration, but at the same time you want to hear those individual layers of the frequency that builds the hum, that builds the swing, that builds, you know, every part of that sound font in there that makes it that exciting, right?
Hmm.
You want to hear all of those little pieces um, to come synergistically, and
Yeah.
so you know that's you know font makers are you know a breed in itself, because when you can layer sounds and then make them into something special like that, it's it's a win-win for everybody. But it's a lot of work as well for you guys, right? Because
Yeah.
how long did it take you to make one of those sound fonts?
Honestly, man, it really just depends on how much time I have, like in one
Mm-hmm.
chunk, because I can probably wrap one up that's like interesting and not, just like run of the mill, in probably about 2 to 3 hours.
Two
If I
to
can
three
sit
hours.
down and
Wow.
just like work and work and work and work. Um, and I have to be inspired. It was the
Mm-hmm.
same thing with music. Like, like one song that, like it was one of the shortest like production times that I had ever spent on a song. And it was one of my songs that did the best. It was probably one of my biggest songs. Um, and I think I spent like a week on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then there's
Wow.
songs that like, would take 3, 4 months and they just wouldn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the amount of time, in my opinion, that you spend on something which makes it quality. It's the
Right.
inspiration, it's the
Mm-hmm.
the correct choices of volume, and
Mm-hmm.
the right choices of instrumentation and effects that you're using, that can really either make or break a sound font or a song.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
yeah, I mean I mean, I think the longest I've spent on one was probably a week or so. And
Mm.
again, that's probably just because I didn't have enough time in one sitting to like put everything together.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always like you never really finished with your product when it comes down to something that has to do with sound. It's just like, is this good enough for people to like enjoy it? And then like for me again with music, um I'll release something as like my record label will have like a deadline for me or something like that, and I'm like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
here you go on the deadline. And every time I hear it, I'm like, oh man, I should have done this or I should have done that. And you can't obviously, but you try to apply it to the next thing that you do.
Mm-hmm.
So
So there's always evolution going on within.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, you start off like making you know relatively, excuse me, um relatively, I don't want to say mundane, but just stuff that's not quite as interesting as you'd like it to sound. And the only
Mm-hmm.
reason for that is just because you haven't thought about it enough.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of sound fonts that I have on my computer that nobody's ever going to hear, just because
Mm-hmm.
they're just not interesting.
Well,
Um,
here's the thing. Even if they're not interesting, I think that you should at the very least, contemplate putting them out into the world, because there are a lot of like weird fonts out there that nobody would have thought interesting, but they're still funny. Like, okay, have you ever heard of the YouTube channel Bad Lip Reading?
yeah,
You know the song that they did for Yoda in his
yeah,
house
yeah,
where
yeah,
the seagulls
yeah.
stop now? Someone made that into a sound font. It is funny. I have it on my lightsaber. Hold on. I'll go grab
Well,
it.
see, even though that's I mean that's interesting. Yeah, like there's another
Mm-hmm.
one that I heard that was like a guy recorded himself making the sounds of a lightsaber with his mouth,
Oh
and
yeah.
like
I'll check it
for
out.
So
I
it just
heard that one.
Here's another
yeah,
one.
like I think it's called the mouth or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting. I mean, I just I don't know. And I thought of making one that was like a guitar. So like when you
Hmm.
swing it, it sound like a power chord, or when like the hum would sound like feedback.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know, things like that. I think Juan
One
did
Sith.
one. Yeah, yeah. And I was like, God damn it, now I can't do it.
Wait, which one did you want? Did he do that you can't do anymore?
I'm sorry.
Which one did he do that you can't do?
Oh, it was the guitar one.
Oh, Guitar
Um,
Hero.
no, I think he called it Lord of the Strings.
Yep, that one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
Well,
good stuff. Like I heard it and I was like, God damn it, this it sounds so good.
he's done. He just did one just recently. One based off of the sword from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Cool.
Yeah, I heard that one. I just heard like about 3 seconds of it, right? But I used to watch Yu Yu Hakusho a lot, man. That was like back when I was growing up. That was the shit. Like, a spirit gun and the spirit sword, and it was like, damn, he about to fuck some people up, man, or some demons. I'm like, dude. And then they did the live one, when they made the movie of it. The movie was okay, but it wasn't as good as the animated, stuff.
It never is.
Well, I mean,
You know.
except right now, One Piece is actually the live action One Piece is actually looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here, this is a 2007 Yoda. This is the first like replica version that they've done that they did based off of the CGI one that Lucasfilm did.
Mhm.
And
It's very
this
pretty.
is my phone. See how far technology has come. Like there are hilts that are like probably even smaller than this.
Oh
And
yeah, I picked up the child from Phoenix Props.
congratulations. Yeah.
Babe, can you grab it
Yeah.
the saber for me? The
Yeah,
white box up there.
there are two sound fonts out there that are for the child. There's one by Kyberphonic and one by Syndicate Custom Relics. One's
Oh,
like a
custom relics.
Syndicate Custom Relics.
Syndicate. Okay, yeah.
I'll
And
have to check them out.
because thank you. And so because I just basically got it yesterday, so it's still in the box.
Oh, nice.
Like really. And let's see. I'm gonna put this down over here. And here we go. I hadn't even put anything on it yet, but as you
Nice.
can see, like you said, smaller than that one.
Tiny.
Smaller than Yoda's. But yeah, and as a matter of fact, I have I just got this back, the Crate Slayer. I sent it to Jeremy at Solos. I have the child's little uh whatever you call it, the just a minute. This part of it right here,
Oh, the
and
blade
I have
plug.
it. Yeah, the blade plug, and I'll set it in here so you can't really see. But unfortunately, what happened was that sending this to Jeremy, and it's not Jeremy's fault, but I found that I thought I had sent him. Well, I did send him a GH4, right? It turns out that I guess the custom saber shop, and it's not their fault though either. They probably just missed the SD card because instead of the GH4 SD card, they end up putting the GH3 card
Oh no.
Oh, wow.
into my board. So I'm all like, and Jeremy did a wonderful job of installing it, you know. So I end up getting, let me take this off here and I'll show you. He did a free install for me, and of
Oh
course I
nice.
had to pay for the pixel that was in here, and um, I did. So when I turn it on, you're gonna hear, you know, the GH3 sounds instead of the GH4 sounds because I was really looking forward to hearing the James's fonts on here as well, like the Electric Essence and everything. So as you can see right here,
Oh
I've got
nice.
a light strip right here. The buttons are right there. And you know when I got the Saber, it worked, and then all of a sudden, the this button right here kind of crapped out after
No.
like two or three pushes of the button. I'm all like, damn. So I asked Jeremy. I said, Jeremy, is there enough? You know, is there enough play in the wires where I can replace it? So he sent me, you know, where to get the buttons. I got them within 2 days, and I replaced the button right there, and it works great. It takes an 18650 and so forth like that, right? So let me go ahead and I'm gonna put this back on, and of course I provided the board and the speaker for him.
Hold on, I'll be
And
right back. I gotta just go to the
okay,
restroom.
and so it came out great though. I mean, I can't complain. There was a little roughness on the button, on the red button too, that I had to kind of skim out a little bit with taking a little sandpaper and make it a little smoother, right?
Hmm.
Let me get that all lined up.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous saber.
Oh, it is, man. And I don't know if because it's from Jawa's Junkyard, and it's a collaboration between Jawa's Junkyard and Benji from Nerf Herder, right? And but man, it's just it's an awesome type of saber. Okay, there's the boot up. It's got the shine through right here, right? Of course, I've got the blue LEDs on right now.
Yeah, that's
You
cool.
see that,
Lit
and then the
PCB. Yeah.
buttons. Yeah. So I'm gonna show you right here. Um, let's see. Turn it around.
And
Wow,
what
I don't
sound
want
font
to.
is that?
that is amazing.
Yeah, it came out really good.
And
Now we,
and you have that installed with Golden Harvest.
yeah, the GH4.
Very nice. You've
Yeah,
definitely
but like I said, unfortunately, they didn't. The custom saber shop sent me the GH4 board, but with the GH3 SD card.
wow.
So I emailed Tim and see what he could do to fix that, and if uh, if uh, if I have to, I guess I can reflash the board and do the download the GH4 stuff onto it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much of
Oh,
a
there we
problem. I
go.
think. I mean, it's just an SD card, so it's not like it's gonna cause
Yeah,
any issue.
yeah. So I can do that. Oh, hey, Rich is in the house. What's
Rich,
up, Rich?
Rich
Oh, he
San.
said just download the SD card stuff. Okay, I can
Yeah.
do that. Yep.
So yeah, this is what it sounds. This is how this thing is tiny, and yet you can.
Yeah, y'all's microphones are working really well.
Oh yeah. Oh, I had my other ones that would sound a little bit better too, but these things they switched over, didn't they? Dang it. Hang
What
on,
happened?
guys. Um Okay, I thought it switched over to the other earbuds, man, but I was like, oh crap, I don't want it to do that. Are y'all there?
Yeah, we're
I
here.
can hear you. Yeah,
Are
I can
you?
hear you fine.
Okay, okay. It didn't switch over because I heard it go. I'm all like, oh shit! I hope it didn't switch over to the other earbuds. The other earbuds are kind of busted, so I need to get those because Anthony had sent me those Space Window. So in case you don't know, Noah, um, Anthony Lagapa, Space Window, has allowed me to run the show the way I do, man. And so he sent me those um, earbuds, and I'm all like, they got all messed up, and now I'm gonna purchase some new ones. So like that, I got these other ones that work really good too, so I can use these until I get another set of those. And thank
Nice.
God I got the box where I can order them from, right? And like I was saying, since Rich is in the house, and I was telling you about Rich, uh, he does some awesome work on chassis and other things, man. So if you need something like that, get a hold of Rich. Anybody in the chat as well. I mean, and watching the show, if you ever need anything like that, chassis wise, get a hold of Rich. He does some awesome work. So back to the sound fonts.
Sure.
What end up? Let me see. How was I gonna say? My train of thought went bye bye.
It happens.
uh, and I usually don't write anything down when I do the show because I like the things flow, right?
Yeah. Of
And
course.
and since you can't edit life, I don't edit the show either. So
Sure.
um, again, getting back to the sound fonts though, when you were making your other fonts, let's go with the Red Knight. That when you were talking about the Red Knight earlier, and you were talking about how that particular, were you watching that scene with those with the red soldiers like that when you decided to make that font?
You're talking about in Last Jedi?
Yeah.
That's part of it. Yeah. I mean, it's very obviously it's very inspired by Kylo Ren's lightsaber. That's sort
Mm-hmm.
of like the ignition has like a two-part thing to it where like the first part sounds like a an explosion, and then the second part has this like metallic clang to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea behind that was that the first part would be the ignition of the main blade, and then the clang part would be the sort of ignition of the quillins, like the
Mm-hmm.
side blades. Um, but yeah, like some of the sounds, like I tried to replicate. You know, like there's this sort of I don't know how you describe it. It's like a almost like a grapple or like a whip that one of
Mm-hmm.
the sentries is using, and it makes this
Mm-hmm.
really interesting sound. It's like it doesn't sound like, I mean, it sounds very Star Wars obviously, but just it's very unique. And I was like, oh my god, I have to get something like that. I have to use something like that. And so I tried to replicate it. I think I came pretty close. Um, but I mean, yeah, some of the sounds. I mean, I'll be honest. Some of the sounds I couldn't do. I couldn't get anywhere close, so I just lifted them. um, and obviously I added more to them so that it would sound more unique than just like a straight copy. But
Right.
um, yeah, that was definitely, that scene was inspiration for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like any anytime Kylo Ren ignites his lightsaber, that's inspiration. Um, and then just kind of like the attitude that he has, like that
Mm-hmm.
sort of like really, he's just like angry all the time, and has all these dark thoughts and stuff like that, and everybody calls him like the emo kid or whatever. But I
Solo
thought,
was a better
of
character.
well, I'm sorry.
Jason Solo was a better character.
I had to say that of all the characters in the sequel trilogy, I have to say that Kylo Ren for me was the most interesting.
I mean,
Just
yeah,
because, I mean, I know that like it's not much to work with. Like the bar's a little
Hmm.
low in terms of, you know, like what you know what you can find, like, or what you can call interesting. But
Right.
you know, like I said, you know, I enjoyed watching each and every one of those movies.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not going to be as negative as some people. Um, but I think he had a cool story. There was a lot that could have been explored in a, you know, in that, you know, what I was Finding Ben Solo or something like that movie that they didn't want to do.
I
I
mean,
Hmm.
thought it could have been. I thought it could have been cool.
yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, a Finding Ben Solo movie. I mean, you would have to. I mean, I don't know. It just it. The reason why I have an issue, I understand that in between the movies they have books and comics to fill in the gaps with that. But the
Yeah.
problem is that the average fan who watches the movies isn't going to turn into those comics unless they have the pockets to buy it or if they're actually vested and interested into the character. Because people just want to go and see a movie. That's it. Nothing like anything like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
mean,
I mean,
there's, you know, if you look at Rogue One, for instance, like that movie did not have to happen, but it did, you know.
well
And
that's because
I think it's one of the best
oh
movies.
yeah. Oh yeah, and the cool thing, and yes, and the good thing about that movie is that it wasn't about. It wasn't the characters, you know, Din Erso, Cassian. They were. It was about them, but at the same time, it encompassed a larger story plot. Like basically, at the end, we all it transitioned literally right into A New Hope.
Right.
Yet still you had, you know, Rogue One Catalyst, the novel that explained how everything came about with Galen Erso and whatnot, and also the series Andor, which, you know, also summed up. And in season 2 of Andor, there's that one woman that says to him, "You're a messenger," and that, you know, it transitions to it really well. But I do admit that it just, I don't know. Maybe I just have an issue with how it's presented at first light, and I don't know. Maybe I just have an issue when it comes to the sequels. Like, look, some of
I've got
I,
my issues with them too. Don't worry.
I, will,
I can see where you're going.
I will say that of the sequels, my two favorites are Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. Rise of
Well,
Skywalker,
the only
a hot mess.
yeah, I think the only issue for me really is how they present it, and they when they leave so much stuff out that
Mm,
you know you have to try to fill in the gaps, and I think that's where a lot of people get pissed off because you don't want to have to fill in those gaps. You know, you don't want to have to think about somebody who doesn't have that much money or so forth. They want to buy all the comics, they want to buy all the toys, they want to buy this, they want to buy that, but not to the point where you have to have all of a certain amount of comics and a certain amount of things to fill in the gaps of the storyline itself, right? um I want
yeah.
a consistent. If you got to put it into a small series, put it into a small series so that we see what the gaps that we're missing that are being explained, just like Ahsoka and a few others, right? So even if they're animated, I mean, animated movies are even less to make than anything else, and they can more or less explain a lot of the gaps,
Yeah.
and you would still have your audience that you lost. You would bring back those audiences that you lost if you continue to even make the animated films that explain the different gaps and bring in the two together to be a cohesive story.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because like for me, yeah, you know, I have to say I definitely agree with your point where you know the movies should tell a cohesive story, and like you
Hmm.
shouldn't have to go outside the movies to understand what's going on in the movies. Like there should
Right.
be just like a through line where you can follow it, and it gets its, there's twists and turns and that kind of stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
the overarching storyline makes sense, and there's a beginning, middle, and an end. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and yeah, that didn't really happen with this sequel trilogy for I'm sure a multitude of different reasons, none of which I think any of us will ever really truly know.
Right.
Um, but I'm sure there's financial reasons, and then creative reasons, and then like actors not wanting to do certain things, or producers not wanting to do
Yeah.
certain things, blah 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 blah. You know, but yeah, like the I think what's it called? I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. Rise
We're
of
old.
Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker was, it definitely was a hot mess, but I think the
Mm-hmm.
reason why was because they were trying to like steer the boat away from so many icebergs that Last Jedi had kind of presented them with.
Yeah.
Because like Ryan Johnson, at least, and this is just my personal opinion. Some may agree with me. Some probably have an absolute opposite, opinion. But I feel like like everything that was like all the dominoes that were set up in the first movie, like he just like walked away from them,
Mm-hmm.
and did his own thing. And when it came to the third one, I think that's why they got rid of. I'm sorry, I forget the original director's name. Um,
J.J. Abrams.
no,
Agent.
no, no. So the guy who was supposed to do the third one.
Oh, Colin Trevorrow.
There you go, Colin Trevorrow. So he released his screenplay, and it, like, I read through it, and it made awesome sense. Like it sounded like a so much better movie.
Mm-hmm.
But they just kind of wanted to keep the storyline a certain way, and so they had to course correct,
You know what they could have
but
at least
in
done?
doing that, they had to do a lot of things that they probably wouldn't have done if the second movie didn't deviate so far in terms of lore and what they had set up in the Force Awakens. But you were bringing up how if you need to put something in a series or in a comic book or something like that. And I remember in The Mandalorian, I think it was either the first or second season,
Mm-hmm.
they find their way into this base, and there's a whole bunch of these just big vats of liquid, and they all have a whole bunch of like Snoke looking clones in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was interesting. I was like, okay, so they're trying to like, tell how Palpatine returns,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, if they go back there and they sort of explain stuff, that might be like a plot hole or something like that. But again, I really do think that if you're going to make a trilogy of movies and you plan to make a trilogy, it's not like you make one and then that did good, so you're going to make another one, like
Yeah.
John Wick or something like that. Like I
Right.
think the plan was always just to make one, and then it just got
Yeah.
popular and they had fun doing it, so they just made more. But if you're
Right.
planning like a series of movies, you need to have like the start, the beginning, and the end
Yeah.
in mind before you start making those movies. And I
Yeah.
feel like there was a lot of deviation from the original idea that they might have had.
Yeah. I have to admit, Rich has I like them too because some of those AI stories that are coming out, they're actually pretty damn good. Like the Vader one, right? You know?
Mm, yeah.
And I have to admit, for something that come out like that good, that's that expletive, right? It really explained after Vader being burned and everything else in between, uh, the what he went through a little bit after that, right? The scrubbing of the necro stuff and all of that stuff. That those scenes like that, we should have seen something like that in the movies to show how pissed off he really is after that, right?
Mm,
Like that is the anger that we see in him. That's part of the anger that he holds. Like, I was burned, I was used, I was this, I was that.
Wait, who are you
And
talking about
so,
again?
huh?
Who are you talking about?
The AI video with Darth Vader. Did you ever watch that? Where it's um
Huh.
a fan made film, but with
Oh,
AI in it, and it showed like after became Vader, and in the time that his body was kind of healing, the stuff that he had to go through in all of that. And
oh,
yeah, it actually turned out pretty good. I was really impressed with it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
you never really
if
get
you
the you never really get the whole picture of why Vader becomes like such a bad guy and such a
hmm
angry person, and why he thinks what he's doing is justified, unless you read the comics or you watch the Clone Wars or things like that. But it's like, you know yeah, he felt used, he was taken from his mom, he
hmm
he's got a bunch of different masters, and they all sort of like treat him like he's not ready for anything yet.
hmm
um it's, I don't know if, it's funny. So there's these two Australian guys that throw a YouTube show on, and they've got millions of subscribers. I'm sure you've heard of them. Mr. Sunday Movies.
Mm-mm.
Sound familiar? No.
mm.
Okay. Oh, you guys have to look them up. Oh my God, these
Oh, I
guys are
have to do.
hilarious. These guys
Definitely
are
have to look them up.
hilarious. But so they all what they basically do is just they'll watch a movie and then comment on it,
Mm.
and their commentaries, it's like a half an hour long or something like that. So like you can watch, like you can just like listen to it on your car ride to work or something. um but it's hilarious. And they were like, yeah, like, do you think Anakin would have become such a bad and angry dude if they just were a little nicer to him? you know like when he first walks in there, they're like, oh, you're scared, kid, huh? Are you cold thinking about your mom that we just took you from? You're like, what are you guys doing? And then he's like, no, you're too old, kick rocks, kid, you're not in, you know. I'm like,
I
what are you guys doing?
Yeah, and see that's the thing. I think he would have never turned to Vader if they said, "Go save your mom,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? I don't think I think he would have been still the one of the most powerful Jedi's ever, but without becoming Vader. And if the Jedi had just said, well, there's not that attachment, it's just love. He's gonna go save her. He's not fighting anybody. He's gonna go save her. That's it. And that would have been the end of it, right?
Yeah.
But of course, the drama, the
Yeah, you have to have it.
drama. You have to have the drama. They never let him play in any reindeer games either.
Yeah, yeah. Terrible, terrible. Such a terrible childhood.
So,
um
let's see. Let's pick another. What is one of your other favorite fonts that you've produced that you've liked?
that I've made.
Well,
um
let's. Mm-hmm.
so there's one called Unicorn,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
that one.
just thanks, is like super out there. So like most of the music that I've written is pretty much all the music that I've written is
Mm-hmm.
dance music.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of maybe like 2000 to like 2003, 2004 ish, I started writing dubstep.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never done it, and I always thought it was interesting. So I was like, okay, let's try doing this. And that sound font has a lot of those types of sounds in the ignitions, in the clashes,
Mm-hmm.
and then the swings are just like, uh, I don't know, very kind of like electronic sounding, like very melodic electronic music sounding. It's just a really, really fun sound font. Anyway, I had a lot of fun making it, just because I wasn't trying to sound like anything. I was
Yeah,
just
and that one threw me for a loop, man. I'm all like unicorn. I was genuinely curious, man. Like unicorn, dude. This has got to be some cool shit here.
yeah. And then it like, so I haven't released this one yet, but it has like I like to call it its darker twin. So if
Hmm.
unicorn is sort of like this like very bright sort of like, the like, for instance, the hum and um uh the lockup
Hmm.
are sounds that are played in a major chord. So it sounds like positive and happy and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
There's one that I've got that I haven't released yet called Lost and Found, and it has like some similar sounds to it. And it's the same idea. Like I wasn't trying to sound like anything. I was trying to just make something interesting and new, and still fits the theme of a lightsaber, but like is um, I don't know, just out there, and
Hmm.
everything's in sort of like a more of a minor chord, and more kind of like darker sounding and more evil sounding.
Hmm.
And I don't mean evil in the sense of like it sounds like you know
Sithy.
Vader would use
Yeah.
use this lightsaber or something, but it's just kind of like um, more melancholy sounding.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm excited to see what people think of that. Um, it's going to be a fun one. But
That
yeah,
sounds interesting.
answer your question, yeah, Unicorn is probably one of my favorites. Um, and then Sith uh, was one of the first ones that I made. The first ones that I made that I was gonna release.
Hmm.
Um, that one's a lot of fun. Just the ignitions themselves are just like each one has just got this like really like huge explosion, and they're definitely
Hmm.
very inspired by Chimere, from the
Hmm.
Acolyte show,
Hmm.
which I really enjoyed. Like everybody seemed to hate it, but I thought it was cool. Like my wife and I watched it, and she
Hmm.
was like,
The the
I feel
acolyte
like.
was
Go ahead.
the acolyte was like a was I would say a love-hate relationship, sort of like how people have it with The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I will say though, and I spoke to Roger Christian about this to him last year. He thought that a lot of what was done in there was absolutely ridiculous. But he did admit that the choreography they did for the lightsaber fighting was top notch.
Oh yeah.
And he
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
it was probably on Nick Gillard level.
It
And
was good stuff.
that's coming from the maker himself
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
of the
Yeah.
lightsaber. So I'll take. But yeah, he thought the. I mean, but yeah, but I value his opinion, and I will say that there were definitely hit or miss, a lot of misses in that show. So definitely some
Yeah.
hits.
I
The
feel
lightsaber,
like
the lightsabers could have been a lot better.
I feel like they concentrated too much on the twins, and like I feel like
Hmm.
Chimere was probably one of the most interesting characters that Disney Star Wars has come up with. And
And
they
then those
just,
Easter
I mean,
eggs at
like,
the end, that was just
yeah, I no, but I feel like they could have given him his own show, Chimere, just like
They could
alone,
have.
just like his own thing, and I think it would have been a really interesting show, if they could tell the story right. Um, but I have to say, I thought again, a lot of people will disagree with me, but I thought the fact that um, they came up with this like order of women that also has the ability to use the force, but they've like or, like I guess whenever their uh, ancestors sort of started realizing what they were capable of, then they thought they called it the thread, and they had never like really been in contact with a Jedi until the Republic came into play. I thought it was really interesting to see, another sort of like religion, if you will, um, see the Force in a different way.
Well, I mean, keep in mind that
I thought that was really cool.
We have the Night Sisters of Dathomir, like
yeah. There you go.
But I would definitely say seeing it in live action is a lot different.
Well, if you had seen, see, here's the thing that I thought. I thought that seeing those group of women like that, um, and I was like dead wrong too on that because what I was thinking, oh shit, okay, all of these women are this, they're using the Force with this and that. Maybe these were the prequel steps to the sisters, right? And like they actually become those the sisters of that. And I was like, that could have been an interesting concept right there if they turn that group of women into those Night Sisters, right?
Yeah.
I guess that the reason I find it so interesting is because whereas the Night Sisters still call it the Force, and they still like there's the dark side and the light side and that kind of thing. And again, I can't even remember what they called themselves. But
the Night Sisters called it magics, actually.
Okay, so I guess it just like this had absolutely nothing to do with the Force. It was like they thought about it completely differently. It was like like one religion and another religion believing in God, but one calls him Jesus and the other one calls him something completely different and believes in completely different stories. And I thought that was kind of cool that there was this group that had access to the Force, but didn't call it that and didn't think of it in any sort of similar way to the Jedi.
Right.
So again, hot take there.
Now, one of the concepts between or soundfont concepts that I was hoping to see, and I don't think that we've actually, I think there's so much material, right, that nobody's touched on in soundfonts that a lot of people are concentrating on certain aspects of the movies and certain things that are reminiscent of the original trilogy and now what we're coming up with in terms of the movies and so forth, but in the series and stuff. But I don't think that anybody has yet to touch on specific items within the universe itself. Like for instance, we don't know what Jedi could come up with what saber within the Outer Rim, right? We don't know what kind of sounds could come out from the Outer Rim or like from Kajimi or from any of those other planets that they mentioned, because nobody has seen a Jedi within those areas. Nobody has seen a hidden Jedi come out of hiding.
I mean,
right?
the closest we get to that is like of hilts that are like that are examples in like Star Wars: The Old Republic video game, but that's not canon right now.
No.
Well, I would argue that the lightsaber that they find in Skeleton Crew is kind of like that.
Oh well, yeah, that's basically that's the only one. What I'm saying.
I would argue that hilt is definitely. I would say it's probably New Sith Wars, early High Republic.
Yeah, I mean,
and this is and I'm judging this based off of what we got in the Acolyte, because
call it what you will. I guess to focusing on the sound, I think again, I think I said it before, was it really didn't sound like anything you heard,
No, yeah. I agree. And also,
well, Scott, I stand corrected. Scott's all like, "We do grayscale." Like, I got called out on that shit.
And he is phenomenal. He like Sam. He makes some phenomenal stuff. I
Oh, he does.
actually like a couple of years back when I was kind of barely starting to dabble in putting sound fonts together. I contacted him and I was like, hey, is there any way you'd want to think about doing the collab sometime in the future? Because I love your stuff. Like I bought everything that he's made, and I've downloaded all his free stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and he was like, yeah, I mean, we can definitely do something, and it never came about. But he's like, like he started following me on Instagram, and I followed him back. I didn't even know that he was on there.
Hmm.
Um, and he, I followed him back, and we talked a little bit, and he's like reposted some of my stuff, and I think he's like, like I'm a genuine fan of his, and I'd like to think that he's one of mine.
Hmm.
So yeah, hopefully we can get something going together because I'm a big fan of what he's capable of. Um, he does some really yeah, very impressive stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And yours are very impressive so far that I've heard. So,
No, I appreciate you saying that.
um,
Thank you.
and I'm glad that we have a new font maker, on from you know, so much competition. Like I was saying, it's really hard to distinguish yourself from it. But again, I like to see the variety of people and the different font makers because the spice of life is the variety. And when you have offering different stuff than the normal stuff, that's what makes the world go round. I mean, that's what makes it so exciting to have, oh shit, look at this, yeah, you know. And again, like you were talking about unicorn being your favorite, the minute I saw unicorn on there, without listening to it, I'm all like, the first thing that went in my head was, damn, people are talking about their unicorn sabers, like their unicorn lightsabers, that
The rare ones,
the
yeah.
absolute last saber that they're gonna get, right?
Right?
What
Yeah.
they've been looking for. I'm all like, damn, now that's gonna be a font that they're gonna put on those unicorn lightsabers.
I would love it if that were true. Um, yeah, no, it's like like I just I thought about what it is that I wanted to do. Like after I realized that this was something that I actually wanted to like start doing
Hmm.
as a as a like a sort of like a side hustle kind of thing,
Hmm.
if you call it that. And I was thinking about what it is that I wanted to achieve and what I wanted to do and like what I wanted to get out of it.
Hmm.
And I was like, there's plenty of very, very highly talented, probably more talented than me, people who are already making like the canon stuff,
Hmm.
like Hyperphonic, for instance. His stuff is just that's absolutely top notch. And everything sounds just like what you're hearing in the movie. And that's just incredible.
Hmm.
But I was like, I could do that. I could try, but I might not be as good as some of these guys. And what would be the point? Because there's already like 50 different guys that are out there trying to do that, and there's already several of them who are like everybody already knows them, and they go straight to them for all their Canon sound font
Hmm.
purchases. So I'm like, what is it that I can do? And so I kind of wanted to like the basis of all of my sound fonts
Hmm.
is to sound like a lightsaber, but
Hmm.
nothing like you've heard before.
Yeah. And that's what I want to. I want to hear stuff like that, right? I want to hear uh sound fonts like that, like something we haven't heard before.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and like I was saying, there's so much that we haven't touched on yet. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, Grayscale and Jay DeLorean come up with awesome stuff too. But I'm thinking, that they're coming up with so much good stuff. They're only I think the content that they're coming up with is only just a fraction of what could be out there, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, again, it's just like movies, music, book, any kind of any kind of creative endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you don't know what's not been made until you make it.
Yeah.
So when I sit down to make a new sound font, um, I'll just think about like, okay, what do I want that like who would be the Jedi or the Sith that would be holding this?
Mm-hmm.
Is there even a character in canon that would be the one that made this lightsaber? And then I think to myself, maybe not. Maybe there's some character that nobody's ever heard of that just decides to make something in some remote planet on in a mountain somewhere or something like that, and that's sort of like the beginning of where I start thinking about things, and then it just kind of grows from there.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. Definitely hear you. I'll be right back, guys. Barris, take over for just a minute. I mean, I'll be out of the picture, but I can still hear and talk to you guys.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna grab something real quick, and let me see here. Oh my God.
yeah, no problem. So
I just
yeah,
gotta grab.
so when I tested your fonts, I think we talked about it briefly. There was an issue with like I think that there was like a timing thing on it, like
Yeah,
like a sound delay on some of the things.
yeah. It's got to be the converter. Like there has to be. So yeah, I think I told you like I'm not really familiar with any of the other boards other than CFX. So like all my stuff works best on a CFX board. But I use the or the font converter that's online to just make them work for as many sound fonts as I can. That way, if you like my sounds but you don't have a CFX and you've got a Profi or you've got a Gold Harvest or whatever, it'll work for you. But there's got to be like a setting on there, like the delay between the ignition and the uh, hum that you can shorten, because I know there's a setting for that in CFX. Now
Mhm.
I could be wrong.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
yeah, on FET263's website there is something like that. When it comes to the blade style and whatnot.
sure, okay. So it's probably like something where the converter is maybe the boards read the numbers slightly differently, and there's that's what's causing that delay.
Mhm.
I really don't know. I can't tell you. Unfortunately, I'm not as uh, prolifically tech savvy as I'd like to be. But yeah, like I said, so my stuff will work best on a CFX just because that's what all of my stuff is originally programmed on.
Mhm.
Um, so
And
there's that.
eventually, are you gonna go to all the different boards eventually to,
I mean,
or
I
are you
would
gonna,
like
or
to.
do you?
I would like to be able to, you know, very like easily use other boards.
Mhm.
Once I find the time to learn that kind of stuff. But it took me long enough to just I don't feel like I've mastered it, but long enough
Right.
to know what I know about CFX to make things work really well.
Mhm.
Um, so learning another one will definitely take some time. But I'm sorry, hang on one second.
No problem. See, and working with exclusively for one board, I think a lot of people end up going and starting off one board first, and then going from there, right?
Sorry,
Moving
this
on
little
to the
guy was
next.
scratching at the door.
That's all right.
Um, so, but yeah, no, I mean, I'd love to be able to do that. But again, it just comes down to time.
Well,
Um,
see, here's the cool thing because CFX and the Golden Harvest board are basically almost the same. I mean, you can really just transfer any CFX sound font into the Golden Harvest, and it's basically almost the same. You're just numbering the GH4 just a little differently than you are
Hmm.
the CFX. And so with the CFX, basically you're just putting in your titles there, and with the GH4 you're having to number and then title for your fonts, and it's
That's actually the way it is on
basically.
CFX too. Is
Mhm.
number and then the name.
Yeah,
With
so
yeah,
they're
with
basically the same. It's just very slight difference between the two, right?
Mm.
But
Mm-hmm.
the CFX has a little bit more capability than the GH 3, and I'm gonna go with the GH3 because now that the Golden Harvest 4 came out, Golden Harvest 4 has, I think, pretty much the same capabilities now as the CFX.
That's
So
cool.
yeah,
I like
Yeah, so
so
that's probably going to be my next the next board that I explore because the
yeah.
similarities are there. I didn't know that.
my
That's
biggest
interesting.
my introduction after after Xeno V3 was actually Profi. And I particularly liked it because I could be able to adjust and do different blade styles off random. And like for
Mhm.
example, this is Mara Jade's from by Juan Sith, and I'm using a blade style created by a guy named Nate Donovan. He's got a whole YouTube channel of it, and this was made meant for another sound font, but still, like you can see, like it looks like it's like Fireblade into it. It's really
Mhm.
amazing. And if you can see with the blaster effects, like you can't tell, but it's like red going different directions too.
Mhm.
CFX has something similar to that. Actually, I'm going to probably throw my blade style and graphics package up for my Sith sound font because I did something similar. Like whenever you swing the blade, it looks like sort of lava kind of climbing up the blade.
Mhm.
Um, I did put up the graphics package for um, generator.
Yeah,
Um,
put it up for generator and for Sith.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I put it up for Sith already. Okay, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, listen, the guy who I'm talking about, his name is Nathan Donovan. His channel is the Dark Jedi on YouTube. He does custom Profi styles for fun. If you were to get into contact with him, he could do custom blade styles for your thing, and it would be available on Pastebin.
That'd be great. Yeah,
Yeah. The thing about
Awesome.
the thing about Profi is that it's open source, so that means it's a whole generation. It's generating the community and whatnot.
right.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
So
I guess the complexity of Profi just gets me. Because CF, I mean, when there's too much freedom, in my opinion, you sort of get lost in the weeds. At least that's what happens to me.
yeah.
yeah,
Like for instance, like again, going back to music, um, they have really like brought down the barrier to entry in terms of people becoming what you want to call a sound a record producer.
Mhm.
And so there's just so much freedom that people they you don't ever finish a song because you could just keep adding more and more and more and doing different things and doing different things and doing different things that you end up making that like a 4 bar loop, and you just keep changing things there, and you never
That's
actually
what
let a
James
song.
has said. That's James had said the same thing, and a few others have said the same thing. So,
And so for
like,
me, like when you have these like artificial constraints, it really forces you to make interesting choices with what's available to you.
hmm
And so, I mean, to each their own. I mean, I can see why Profi is so popular. I mean, it's probably more popular than CFX. Um, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But it's just so like everybody's talking about it, and like every um, a hilt reseller or installer does Profi.
Yeah.
Like they do Profi and then other stuff, but it's never like they do other stuff and not Profi.
Yeah.
So it's popular for a reason, and I can see why. But I guess for me personally, I like the constraints that are placed on you in terms of creating a sound font, creating a blade style, creating a graphics package for CFX. It just forces you to work with what you've got, and I think that inspires creativity.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. So I want to introduce you to this. This is the Warlock right here. This is my Saber, just all custom Saber shop parts, stuff
That's
like that,
gorgeous.
right? And so the Warlock will be. I will put on the Wizard
Very
on
nice.
here. So the Wizard will go on the Warlock. And when
I
when
was
I
go ahead.
I said when I saw the Wizard and I listened to it and your explanation, I'm like, okay, that's going on the Warlock. Ain't no doubt about it. That's gonna fit. That's gonna fit.
I was actually considering calling it Warlock,
Oh
um,
yeah.
but Wizard just sort of, I don't know, it has like a lot of different connotations to it, and they just like they're all
Mm-hmm.
positive. There's wizard when you think something's cool, or
Yeah.
wizard like Gandalf, that kind of stuff. So I just thought it was
Right.
interesting. But yeah, no, maybe I'll make a like a another dark twin to wizard and call it warlock.
If you make that one, that'll go on here too. So I'll have both the Wizard and the Warlock on the
There you go.
Warlock. Right. So I'm gonna like set this in and now unfortunately I don't have your sound fonts just yet, but
Oh shit.
they'll definitely go on here for sure when I do get them.
Awesome.
You
You'll
know.
have to send me a video.
Oh, I will. Well, I will definitely gonna feature your sound fonts on another show, man. So
Oh,
when
I
I put them
appreciate
on,
you doing that. That means a
when
lot.
I
Thank
put
you.
them on, yeah, dude. If I had the time to actually put it on before the show, I would have. Unfortunately, too many things to do at the house too. I mean,
Oh my God, dude, I hear you.
you got stuff around the house and the honeydew list and everything else, and then to prepare for tonight because tonight's supposed to freeze tonight. Yeah,
Oh, is it? Yeah, we had the
so we'll
freeze. We had
see.
the freeze last night, and yeah, like I was walking around our house, like covering the plants, and I had to drive down to Home Depot and buy like tarps and shit like that. So
Luckily,
I
we
get it,
don't
man.
have
You have
none of
stuff to
that
do around
yet.
the house, dude. Oh my God, I've got twin 5-year-olds, and they're
Oh,
enough already.
I
So
feel ya. I feel ya. I had three girls. Luckily, we're empty nesters now, man. But damn,
yeah, it's something, that's for sure.
5-year-olds. I remember going through those days, man. Sleepless nights, dude. Sleepless nights. But
It's definitely gotten better. Like our kids, I have to say, like my kids are really well behaved. They go to sleep, 7 to 7,
mm,
and it's like we lucked out. Like we're pretty lucky with how good these kids are.
well, that's
Thank
good,
God.
man.
But
That's good. That's
yeah, because I've
awesome.
seen some nightmares.
Yeah.
So but no, yeah, no, my son and my daughter to an extent, but my son particularly, um, he loves Star Wars. Like he's playing Lego Star Wars on the Switch like no tomorrow. Like he just, I mean, all day long. Yeah, well, whenever I let him, because he's like me, maximum like an hour or 2 hours tops. Like, and that's like on a
Mm-hmm.
weekend only. Um, but he like, I've made him his own sound font that I probably won't ever release just because it's kind of special. But he's so like enamored by it. Um, and he has his own hilt. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Oh,
just
he does. Well, that's
it's nothing
great.
complex, but it's just
Yeah.
Saber Trio. I can't even remember what this is. Vulcan, I think.
Uh-huh.
Um, and he loves the thing.
That's awesome, man. That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, the kids are our future, man. We gotta definitely get them into if we can. Unfortunately, my girls didn't care for Star Wars, and
more
neither
about
did my
Barbie, huh?
wife. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't care for that stuff, and neither did my wife. But that's okay, you know. But my wife loves me so much that she buys me Star Wars stuff, right? And
Yeah.
she's bought me, the Star Wars shirts and different things like that, and um,
And my wife will buy me more like motorcycle stuff, and I think it's really just to make sure that I'm safer than I ever will be without her.
right. That's
So,
what they do. That's what wives do, man.
I'm telling you that I just bought a brand new motorcycle on Friday, actually. This BMW S1000 RR, and it's
Oh wow.
absolutely gorgeous. And she's like, all right, you just need a it's 1,000 cc's, between your legs. You need to like really cool your jets on that thing. So
That's funny, man. And I got into 3D printing a little bit because I've got some chassis in my brain that I want to get out and I can't get it out. But since I've been playing with some of the stuff, man, I decided I need a box to hold different chassis and while I'm working in different parts and stuff. So I made this little sucker right here,
there you go.
and it holds all my chassis. So I
Nice.
don't have to keep them in a drawer or anything like that. So anything that's not wired down yet, I've got it all set right up in here, and it's got the Methosaurus on there,
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
the gold PLA silk.
Very nice.
So printed that out last night. I guess it just finished this morning, so it was like a 5 hour print. I have a smaller one in black also, but the black one will hold just like all my different what do you call them, screwdrivers and stuff like that. So this one here will hold all the bigger stuff in the chassis, and then the smaller one will hold all that smaller stuff.
Nice.
And then, of course, got a couple of these things to try out for maybe some crystal chambers and stuff like that. Just bought these
There you
out.
go.
So we'll see how these work out.
Yeah, I have yet to plunk down for a chassis with a crystal chamber. Most of my stuff is installed by Tim at Tierfon.
Yeah.
Uh, and he's such a cool dude. He's
Yeah,
so
he does
cool.
good work. He really does good work too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Incredible work.
In fact, well, I don't know if I should talk about it, but um, at any rate, like I said, most of my stuff is done by him, and I keep like wanting to, you know, put down for a crystal chamber, and like just all like his whole like his top of the line stuff.
Yeah.
And I can never justify it. It's just, I'm just like, oh man, I really want to be spending
Yeah.
this much money
Ask
on this
Rich.
thing. So
Rich does some amazing stuff, man. It really is good stuff.
I'll have to talk to him.
Sure.
Because yeah, there's one that John from DC Sabers is making
Mm-hmm.
me.
Oh,
Um, and like I told him, like I was like, I want this to be like my Excalibur, like my unicorn sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want this to be like just really, really special. Like you haven't seen
Right.
a lightsaber like this before. And so he's been working on it since God, I don't even know, like maybe the summer of last year or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting ideas. He hasn't even started building it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so for the install on that one, I was going to send it to Dimitri at Stock,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
and because I wanted a few like specific like technical things that it can do. Like I want to be able to like plug in an aux cable, for instance, and be able to record directly from it. And if when I plug in the aux cable, I want it to cut the speaker, stuff like that. So like I actually asked Tim about it, and he was like, you need to talk to Dimitri. Like this guy's he's like a like a genius when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
Oh, he's on another level, man. And I tell you, I've seen the crystal chamber that he recently put out. Like, oh my
yeah.
god,
Ooh.
oh my god. Like, I mean, expensive, but damn, that thing looks like it belongs in Tiffany's.
Yeah, for real.
Put that. I tell you what. I mean, that's like you go to Tiffany's and you'll see just a cabinet by itself of all the of all those crystal chambers like that, man.
Yeah, no kidding. No, he does some good stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm new to the industry, so I'm still meeting people. A lot of the people that I know now, I've been fans of for years already. And so I'm just like barely starting to introduce myself to them. And some of them, to my surprise, have found me and have messaged me and kind of like, just started talking about it. And it is so like, like such an honor to meet some of these people, y'all included.
Well, the
It's
honor is
great.
all mine, dude. The honor is all mine because, like I
Yeah.
said, getting you on here, and I have to thank Barris for finding you because without Barris, I would have honestly, I would haven't heard about you. And Barris, just my God, some of the stuff that he gets to find and do, I appreciate so much because in the time that I have to just look and do some stuff, he's got. I mean, he finds some amazing things and amazing people, and I tell you, I can't thank him enough for all finding you as well, because like I said, finding people that are up and coming and talented as well. I mean, don't admit yourself as not being talented because again, it's the creativity that really comes through and that shines. So when we have people such as yourself, I want to be able to showcase those, people like yourself. Yeah, and I have the same people come in from time to time and stuff like that, and I love that they come back and be on the show as well, right? And so to you, I'm an extending, you're always welcome to come onto the show anytime you want to,
I love
right?
that. I love that. Thank you. So, and it's like I said, it's an honor to be counted among the people that you've brought on this show, and that the way that you're talking about them and stuff. So, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, you're more than welcome. And so, and one of the things that I always explain during the show too is that we're here to have fun, talking about lightsabers, talking about sound fonts, talking about every aspect of the lightsaber itself. Including movies, shows, whatever, have you will, as well, books included, all the different materials of Star Wars, but that pertain to the lightsabers and stuff. That's why it's called Saber Talk. But I want to provide a place where people can come and have fun and talk, where they may not have a place to go to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
their significant other doesn't particularly care for it. No, maybe some of their friends, they're just not into it. They don't want to hear about it. So I'm offering on Sundays, for people to come over here at this time and come and talk about it, and that way you have a place to come and talk with like-minded people in the hobby and have some fun for a couple of hours.
See,
And
that's great. That's absolutely. I think that's fantastic because it's a place of positivity and
of
it just
course.
just talking with you two you guys today. I mean, it's I can tell that it's a really great thing that you're doing.
One thing I will not talk about on this show is politics. I will stop it immediately. I mean, everybody has their preferences, and they're and people should do respect what they like, um, and others what if you don't like somebody for what they are and all that, go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Here we're
yeah,
here to
yeah.
have fun
We did
and
briefly
talk
touch,
about the stuff.
we did briefly touch up on tariffs and whatnot because of how those have been affecting how when we buy lightsabers and whatnot.
Well, yeah, but I
Yeah, it's an
mean,
unfortunate
briefly,
reality.
but it is an unfortunate reality. But we want to keep it to the point where, we understand that, but at the same time, that's not going to stop us, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to find one way or another, and then hey, if it lets up, it lets up. We're going to be happy. If it don't, well, we'll live with it and do what we can to do what we can. Plain and simple.
For sure.
But but we love to have fun, I mean, even Barris has sent me some funny stuff sometimes, man, pertaining to lightsabers and Anakin and oh my God, some of that stuff you sent me is hilarious, dude.
And
Help me, I'm dying laughing. Oh my God.
yeah,
Yeah, there's some good stuff out
someone
there.
did an AI thing of Maul's face on Doctor Evil from Austin Powers. Like I
Very
You know
feel like
nice.
what?
I need to find Mike Myers and just show him that and be like, "Would you do
I
that?"
found one.
Yeah,
I
like
think that I don't know if I sent you the one where it's funny because Luke is facing Darth Vader, right? And it looks like he's got his saber in his hand, and it starts vibrating, and it's just like and then it goes to the scene where you got Princess Leia in bed, and she thinks it's her, vibrator, and she turns it on, and it cuts her in half. I'm all like, oh
uh,
shit!
okay.
I'm all like. That's messed up, but it was hilarious. It's crazy, but it's funny.
Good stuff.
Uh, oh my God. Look at Bear. So you're like, oh God, don't I can't get that out of my head now.
No.
Well, man, time has passed by so fast. Oh my God, almost 2 hours straight. I told
Yeah,
you, remember, I had told you that when you have a good time, time flies, man.
it really
If it wasn't
does.
for the show, I would be
It
watching A Night in the Seven Kingdoms right now.
really.
Yeah,
Oh man, I gotta check
I've
that
been
out.
thinking about getting into that one. A friend of mine told me about it. I just can't. I can't get past that last season of Game of Thrones, man.
oh, grow the freak up, man! It was
I can't do it.
it was one season.
It's good. It's yeah. You
It
you
was
got to
good.
get past. If you
Cassie
can get past it, you'll be
Patton,
all right.
by the way,
It's hard.
the guys who made the swords, who made the Valyrian swords for House of the Dragon, those are made at Jalek Blades here in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Wow.
There
Yeah,
you
I have got to swing by that place. I get and see if they have a job as a salesperson. Seriously.
go.
Well, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night, man, because I'm pretty sure you're getting tired, Noah, and everybody's getting tired too.
A little
So,
bit.
man, so
Well,
it was such a great time, and I'm glad you came on, man.
yeah,
I'm
no,
super.
thank you for having me, Barris. Thank you for telling me about this. And
Of
yeah, no,
course. And
it's been great. It's been an honor. It's been really fun.
of course, and I hope you come on to future shows, man. It would be great to
I'd
hear
love to.
your opinion.
Yeah, I'd
Great.
love to.
Yeah, man. Anytime you want to come on, just hit me up and say, hey, Mundo, I want to come on. I'll send you the link, dude, and we're all good to go. And I tell you, future shows will be fun. And even if we don't talk about the sound fonts, or if you want to feature a new sound font on there, like with one of your sabers, we can do that. And,
Sure.
like I said, if you just want to come on and talk about different things, it's all good, man. I encourage people to come on and just talk about whatever we talk about for the topic of the night, and of course have some fun, maybe some jokes here and there and all that good stuff. So Thank you. And so for all you guys in the chat as well, thank you guys so much for coming out. Scott and then Titan and all you guys at Rock. Rich came on in the chat and stuff. And thank you guys so much. It means so much for you guys to come out and hang out with me Sunday nights when I do the show. Now, like I said, there are some times where I can't do the show, but most of the time that I can, I'm glad y'all are hanging out with me and us, Barris, for being a co-pilot most of the time. Thank you so much. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe also to Civilized Sabers. Give a big old shout out to Anthony Lagapa, aka Space Windu. Make sure you like and subscribe all there on his stuff. Look at the Space Windu channel. You can check out Civilized Sabers channel. Anytime that you cannot see anything here on the Civilized Saber channel, go to the Mundo channel. The Mundo channel will have every one of these videos up. I don't take anything down. I haven't taken anything down. You may see one or two that are missing from here over there. Okay. Also, Saberwave. Make sure you like and subscribe to his stuff. Get some of his fonts. Yeah, I know Noah we definitely appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. Everybody will appreciate it. I know your Saber will appreciate it. Your Saber would definitely appreciate it for you guys, man. And I'll tell you. Again, thank you guys so much. May y'all have a very good week. May the force be with you guys. Mundo out. Barris, peace.
Guys.